Hey, quick update. Want to go over some of the price action, and I think the rest of July, and then as we get into August, the trading is going to get really good, and then September through December should be wondrous trading. But uh, even though we've had to go through a lot of institutionals hanging on to price, especially Friday, I was watching them just absorb any and all selling through here. So I stayed long thinking we'd go up and press the all-time high and blow through it. And we sure did. Had to sit there all day watching that well long, but it paid off in the end. And then the day before was some of this action before. They're just any anybody that any selling that came in off any little unscheduled news or anything, were just coming right back in. And when I say absorbing, I'm not watching order flow on futures. Forget that stuff. I don't need that. What I'm watching is the second there's lift out area, they come in and they're buying baskets of stocks automated, and they're not buying the high flyers. They're buying like safe stuff. But when they buy it in mass and they're buying it, and I'm talking the investment bank side, not necessarily the hedge fund side, they're people are reading flow and they're like, oh, flow's going in, but they're buying safe stuff. So, they can let go of it right away after the market lifts. So it's just a big game. So they do that, but they also run options, both zero DTE and other. So they'll come in and run automated systems. They'll buy futures. Mainly they're buying ES, NQ, YM. They're buying regular options, zero DTE options, and they're buying baskets of stocks. And they do it all automated. And they turn it on, and any selling that comes in, they're like, nope. Selling comes in, nope. Selling comes in, nope. Selling comes in, nope. 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 New high. And all day Friday, they let a little bit of sellers come in, thinking we're going to go down, maybe test a level, get people short, thinking Friday's going to bugger out. And no, they ram it up, and then they were holding on to it like crazy. I was just watching it. Every little selling, they were both active, and then they popped the high, the new high, all-time high. So anyhow, I think though into next week we're going to get some sort of a short term. It's either going to happen at the end of this week or in the beginning of August. We're going to get some sort of push, get a short term high, and then we might back off there from a while. And then remember, large funds and institutions, October, November, December, they like to clean up, take any of the garbage out of their portfolios and pump it hard into end of year so they can end the year with their portfolios as beautiful as possible, meaning their end of year results, and get their bonuses, especially on the hedge fund side. So lots of cyclical scrub action that we've been having to deal with. But I mean, it's summer trading. So my programmer was off for a bunch of days, and then some of my family wanted me to go do something. So I'm like, okay. And basically, I was remote almost the entire week and back in action, getting ready. And I'm really excited for the week ahead. Let's go take a quick look at news. Also, I wanted to mention we added all kinds of new features to some of the tools. The super bands got a really cool new mode that the programmer came up with. So we have two modes now. We have static bands and the regular version. So we keep, you know, CPI, continual process improvement to the tools. We added outputs that traders requested and onward and upward there. So we have the super bands. I also have the AIQ bands. So we have two sets of bands. This is my seventh generation of the bands with full new computational style, whole new programming style to program the new math. And I love them. And I'm getting fantastic feedback from those that have used new Algo bands or anything from the past. Like, wow, these really are a marked improvement. Uh, I'm using my AIQ bands that are built out of the same math that we have in our AIQ1 indicator. And I have them running very responsive and tight up against price. So I can just see reversal hooks. We make new all-time high, we get the reversal hook, especially if I get a momentum signal. Okay, I'll go in there and now I'll short that and fade that, see what happens. New high, but this is the end of a Friday. I was already done. I was long this day and was cycling some liquidity alongside as we're going up and down, and then got the pop, the punch above the previous high that I thought was about 90% probable. I was watching all the absorption in here activities, and we got the pop, and then I bailed into the pop, called it a day because I'd been sitting there watching it and watching it. It took hours before we finally got to move. Normally it goes rip, okay, we're done in about an hour, but no, there's a lot of selling, probably profit taking had the weekend that they had to counter. When I say they, the investment bank side, hedge funds weren't doing much buying at all in here. It's all investment banks, and they've got the liquidity to hang on to the market and push it wherever they want, whenever they want. So let's go take a quick look at news. Got what do we have next week? Let's go take a look. Okay, I'm on forexfactory.com in the calendar tab. Monday, not much. So what are we going to get Sunday into Monday? Probably a press higher, maybe some drift higher. We'll see if Asian markets or EU markets cash into any new highs made. Uh, but Tuesday, we do start to pick up some news on the world basis. On the U.S. basis, all we really have is jolts and consumer confidence. They're okay. The jolts, unless there was a big drop, if it's pretty much in line or better, markets probably keep drifting higher, short of any unscheduled news hitting the markets. So that's Monday, Tuesday. But what's Wednesday? Wednesday's a big day. ADP non-farm employment change, GDP numbers, pending home sales, and Fed funds rate. So I'm Pacific time. It's 11. So Globex or U.S. Central Time, that'd be 1 p.m. And the press conference half hour later. So that's the day. Like if you're on TPT, you got to make sure you're not in trades on your Pro or Pro Plus accounts. Some of the other prop firms, make sure you're not in trades during the Fed funds news. So that will get the fireworks started. Is Trump going and making the Fed look like a bunch of criminal syndicate central bankers in a new lavish castle that they're building with massive cost overruns, all paid for by us? Is that going to entice them to finally play ball and lower interest rates? Because we're obviously in a perfect, very low inflationary environment. The uptrend has collapsed, energy prices are lower, and overall inflation on a month to month basis has collapsed. Thank God. So we'll see what happens there. If they were to lower, can you imagine the up leg we're going to get? Multi-day up leg. I think the NASDAQ could easily get 5, 6, 700 point range extension higher from, we'll say Friday's highs. Some think 1,000 to 1,100 points. I think that's a bit much, but we'll see. So the potential's there for one last good hard push. Then there'll probably be if we get that hard push, there'll probably be profit taking into it at some point, maybe a little pullback mid to later part of August into September, and then they get back on the gas pedal October, November, December. And this is, of course, if everything stays static. If we have a scale up or geopolitical events start getting out of hand with any of these wars still going on, it seems like things might be getting to a point in Ukraine and Russia where it would, I don't know why Russia hasn't already cut a deal. They should have. They're stupid continuing things. I know they don't trust the EU leadership or NATO, so I kind of, they're probably wanting to go to a full capitulation point. So, but if any of these wars like really stop, especially the Ukraine-Russia war, that would be a positive for the markets. And then if the EU and US complete some sort of a trade deal, that'd be a positive. But anyhow, there's lots of stuff. We got Bank of Japan stuff also on Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be a really active day in the indices, in the bonds markets. The treasuries, and then the currencies will be active that day. And Thursday, here we got some additional PCE and employment claims and stuff news. So pretty active trade week ahead. And then we got non-farm payrolls on August 1st on Friday. So trade light next week and be safe. There's going to be some wild trade days, I think. And so we'll see what we get there. So if you go to gridalgo.com, I've got talk about everything. I have some new stuff hitting on the Quant Tower side this week. We've been talking, my programmer's been talking directly with Quant Tower. We think we have them maybe warming up to the idea of, we gave them code for a very precise Renko that would really be effective for people trading automated. I think we've demonstrated to them enough reasons why and we really need it for ourselves. We don't like the Renko that they have with their platform. It's not precise enough to tie into to give us the full capability of our momentum signals automated strategy. So I'm going to be pushing hard to get them to a yes. So anyhow, we have multiple platform programs, individual platform programs. We added the NT8 side. We have the we have the AIQ or the Algo IQ program now in NinjaTrader 8. So anyhow, I have some big announcements tomorrow. New stuff. We have Tilt Trader coming online next week. Should have that hitting on at least one of the three platforms. And I have some more information on just a lot of big stuff. This is going to be a very busy Sunday. I have lots of announcements on goodies I've been working on and stuff that's finally to the point that I'm ready to release it. So the programs are getting enhanced. Our third platform's coming online. And then it's going to be a really busy week, not only on the market side of things with all the news, but on us just deploying more stuff to the Algo IQ group. So there you have it. If you have any questions, let me know at any time at info@gridalgo.com. Want to give you a quick update now that I'm back from my kind of last minute trip and ready to hit it hard to close out the summer and onward and upward. So talk to y'all later. Have a great weekend.